Welcome back everyone. Quickly, let's continue our discussion on CSS text decorations. Right now we'll be discussing about the CSS text decoration line property with overline and underline value. The text decoration line property is used to add a decoration line to text. And note this tip right here. You can combine more than one value, like overline and underline, to display lines both over and under a text. So we'll be exploring this in deep details. And note this place. It is not recommended to underline text that is not a link, as this often confuses the reader. So this often confuses the reader. I don't want us to talk much about this. Let's go and demonstrate something. As you can see, this page right now, everything is looking nice. This is what we got in our previous tutorial where we discussed about the text underline, where we talked about the text decoration line with the value of underline. As you can see, this is it. This is the code. But right now, I'm going to be specifying this underline, and also I'm going to be specifying overline. So let me give this overline again. Overline. Now, as you can see, this is having underline and overline. Our text decoration line is having two values. Now, let's save our document and reload. Can you see what happens right here? We are having overline and underline in our text. So, for you to see it clearly, I'm going to give it some things so that you can see what is happening there very well. Let me give it some margin. Let me just give it 20 rupees, so you guys can see how this is looking. Can you see? This is our element. Can you see the overline and the underline there? So one thing I'm going to do right now is that I'm going to write anything here, so you can see how this works when I write things there. Let me reload my document. Can you see everything I write inside it is having overline and the underline? And also, again, if I write anything again, maybe like h1 tag, if I write it here and I write I saved this document, it's going to inherit the overline and underline also. Can you see? It is inheriting the overline and underline. But if you notice very well, the overline is not working perfectly for it very well in that manner. The only way this overline can work perfectly with the h1 tag in this manner is only if you select it. Maybe you say that you need h1 tag here, but this, can you see now? We're having like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 lines in our text right here. But this is not what we actually want. Definitely you should know that if you have to use this h1 tag, don't use it inside other element. You should use it separately. If you use it separately, then the overline is going to work perfectly with it, because this reacts. Can you see? The overline is working perfectly now. You can now wrap the h1 tag and the div tag. You can wrap it in a section or in an article, anyhow you want. Save this your document, and your document is still looking nice. Then you can organize your document anyhow you want it. So, but one thing you should note again is that, let's say for instance, we want to have our div element, and we want to have another text to inherit it, to inherit the overline and underline from the div element. Then we can say that maybe we can use another element. Maybe let's test it with span element. Alright, when we save our document, I'll come back to the code and reload. Can you see the span element inherits the overline and underline without any problem? I'm going to change our document here to CSS underline and overline. So you guys can be able to understand what I'm talking about. If you notice very well, when we specify the h1 tag, the h1 tag inherits it, but it's not looking nice. Let me add h1 tag also so you can see. Firstly, I will add h1 tag. Let me write h here. I save my document. When I reload, can you see the h1 tag, the way it looks is different to the way the s looks. The s looks nicely much more. That's why I said you can remove the h1 tag just in case you want to use the both underline and overline at once. You can remove the h1 tag out of the div element, do everything one by one like this, then it's going to work nicely. Can you see? The same thing goes with the body element. Let's say you are selecting the body element, you are giving the body element the overline and the underline. It's going to affect. Let me give this body. So as you can see, we are having this body, right? This in our body, the overline and the underline. Let me reload my document. Can you see? This is working nicely and this is working nicely. And if you notice very well, our h1 also is working nicely. But the reason why the h1 is working nicely is because we select it separately. It's because we select this h1 tag separately. But let's say imagine we have this h1 tag out of this element, we kept it inside here. Let's see what will happen to our document. Can you see? Now it's not working perfectly again. But the one we let me now put another h1 tag inside our article right here and reload. Can you see the h1 tag we kept inside our article and the h1 tag we kept outside our article? You can see the difference. This one is having the overline but is inside, but this one is having the overline and the underline. It's working nicely because we wrap this one at the top, we wrap it inside one other element like article element, but this one it is outside immediately after our body element. That's why it's not working with it, because we are selecting. Let's now say for instance this h1 tag also want it to have the underline and the overline together. Let's wrap it with our div element. Maybe it's going to work. Let's save our document and reload. Can you see it's not working? Let's save it in another element also. Maybe we can use another element here like div element again. We can place it inside there. Maybe it's still going to work. Let's see what will happen. Can you see the same thing? So but when we specify article element inside here and we kept it inside the article element, let's reload. Can you see it is kind of working, but it's not perfect yet? Can you see? So let's say for instance we have another div element right here and we kept article element right here and we still kept this h1 tag inside. Let's reload and see what we got. Can you see the same thing occurs, but it's not yet perfect, right? But just imagine we have all this, we just have a section. When we specify a section, then we kept our h1 tag inside the section. Let's reload. The same thing occurs. But when we have this section and we specify our article inside the section, then we now add our h1 tag. Let's see what will happen. Now, as you can see, now it is working. So there is a way we do things just in case you want to detect anything. That's why I do tell you guys that you should practice, because practice makes perfect. If you don't do it, no one can do that for you. So please, I want you guys to practice everything I'm showing you guys right here, because it's so nice when you practice something, and practice make perfect. So this is all the code, and what we have learned so far is all about underline and overline. It reacts to different elements in different ways. So if you don't want your document to look rough or somehow, definitely you should practice it so that you can know how it works for you. So I think I have to stop right here for now. Anwar Akorede Ayofe is my name once again. I wish to see you guys next time with the next tutorial. Peace and love and have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye bye.